guys, so I went on another book haul because I wanted to. January was stressful for me, and when stress happens, I buy books. So I have now got a whole load more books to show you that I've recently bought, that I've either bought in February or I just forgot to haul in January. So without further ado, here is what I bought in sort of January and February. One of the first things I got was Stained by A.G. Howard. Now this is a fairy tale retelling all about the Princess and the Pea, where the main character is mute, and that is all I know about this. It's one of my most anticipated books of the year, so I had to buy it immediately when it came out, and I cannot wait to read it. The next one I bought was The Gilded Wolves. Now this is a heist book set in the 1800s Paris, and I am actually currently reading this right now, and I'm actually quite enjoying myself. I have a couple of things I want to talk about in my review. I will be doing a discussion about this because there is a character on the autistic spectrum in the book, so I want to do a discussion about it. But I am quite enjoying it so far. It's quite heisty, kind of Six of Crowsy, but it's different enough that it's not annoying me, and that's all I'll say for the moment. Next was Empress of 1,000 Seasons. Now, I can't actually remember what this book was about, quite frankly, but it was on offer. I'd heard quite a lot about it. I know it's a sort of Asian-inspired book, and that's literally all I know. It was on offer on Kindle, so I bought it. I'd heard quite a lot of hype about it, so I decided to buy it. And the last book I got on Kindle was Doctor Strange, God of Magic. Now, this one is all about Loki taking over as the Sorcerer Supreme, and that's all I needed to know, basically, because Doctor Strange and Loki are my absolute all-time favourite characters of the MCU. They're also played by my favourite actors, so I can't help but love them. And when I found out that they were going to be in a comic book together, especially one like this, I had to get it because I am desperate to see Doctor Strange and Loki interact more than they did in Thor Ragnarok. I am holding out hope for the Loki TV show and obviously Endgame, but obviously I don't know what's going to go on with that. So at the moment I'm kind of sating my need for my magic sorcerer people by reading the comic, and I really am excited to read this one. Onto the physical stuff I got The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, because I have seen this everywhere, in every bookshop I've gone into for the last few months, on BookTube and absolutely everywhere. Everyone is talking about this book, so I decided to bite the bullet and actually finally buy it, just to see what all the hype is about. I can't even remember what this is about. I know it's about Russian mythology, and that's as far as I know. Either way, I'm quite excited to read this one and see what it's all about. It is a bit chunky, so I may leave this a while, but either way, I'm really excited to find out what all the hype is actually about with this book. Another really popular fantasy I bought was The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Again, this is an absolute chunker, which really scared me, and that's the reason why I didn't buy it for such a long time. I've been interested in it for quite a while, but quite frankly, the size of it scared the living daylights out of me, so I've been putting it off for 2 years now. But after my 2018 resolution to read bigger books, I decided to finally bite the bullet and actually buy this. I have no idea when I'm going to get to this, probably around Tome Topple time, but either way, I'm quite excited to see what the hype is about with this one as well. Next is King of Scars, because it's Leigh Bardugo, and I love the Grishaverse and Leigh Bardugo, so I had to buy King of Scars. I have not read the original Grisha trilogy because that story, everything I've heard about it, I've heard so many mixed things about it, as well as the fact that it's really quite tropey and there's a love triangle, a love quadrangle from what I can tell in here, and I just know that I will really not like that. But I think I'm going to really enjoy King of Scars because from what I've heard of the mixed reviews, I will admit there isn't that sort of love triangle-y element to it, and it also focuses on the character I am quite interested in from the Grisha trilogy, which is Nikolai. Also, Nina is in this, and I'm really excited to read it. Hopefully next week, fingers crossed for the BookTube games, because Team Ketterdam here, how can I get through the BookTube games in Team Ketterdam without reading something Grisha? I just can't do it. And when I bought King of Scars, I was in the Big London Waterstones, which is the largest in Europe, I think, and their comic book section is gorgeous. It is absolutely massive. So obviously I searched the lot desperately trying to find more comics that I haven't been able to find for a while, and I was quite successful. And the first one I found was Black Panther, Nation Under Our Feet, Volume 2. I read Volume 1 last year, just after I watched Black Panther, if I remember rightly. It was quite soon after I watched Black Panther because I love Black Panther and I wanted to know more about him and figured the comics would be the best place to start, and I fell in love with that comic, but I never found the sequel. Ever. In any of the stores I've been to, I never found it, but then I found it in the Big Waterstones and had to pick it up immediately because there was no way I was leaving the store without this one. I also found Gamora Memento Mori, which is another one I've been looking for about 2 years now. I cannot remember what the hell this one's about. I just know that it was on the list I had on my phone of comics that I really badly wanted. For about 2 years, I found it, I bought it. Simple as that. And I'm going to read this just before Endgame comes out. Quite a lot of these are going to be like pre-Endgame reads, and I'm really excited because all I know about Gamora is what I've seen in the film, so to have a comic centred around her is really exciting for me, so I can finally find out more about Gamora and pray she comes back to life in the film. This was a bad plan. I know it was a bad plan. I really don't care. Gamora. Love Gamora. Have to read more about her. I'll deal with whatever pain Endgame gives me later. Next is All New Wolverine Civil War 2. This is the sequel to All New Wolverine The Four Sisters, which I read last year and absolutely adored, which is all about Laura Kinney, who is the daughter of Wolverine, and how she sort of deals with the fact that Logan is dead and how she is sort of keeping up his legacy by being the Wolverine and wearing his costume, and what she gets up to. Now, this one actually ties into Civil War to the big storyline, but I think you can read this by itself. At least that's what I'm hoping for anyway, because otherwise I'm going to be very, very confused. But I had to pick this up either way, because I, again, haven't seen this anywhere. I've only ever seen Volume 1 in any store I've been in, and I couldn't leave this behind, especially when, as you can see, Old Man Logan is on the front, and I love Logan, so I had to pick it up. I couldn't leave it in the store. Next was Gwenpool Volume 2, Head of MODOK, because, again, I had Volume 1 of Gwenpool. I absolutely loved it. And do you think I could find the sequel anywhere or any of the rest of the series, like, at all? No. This was in the Big Waterstones. It was a no-brainer. I immediately picked it up. I love Volume 1 of Gwenpool. I really related to her as a character, so I had to pick up the sequel, and I'm really excited to read it. And then the next thing I picked up was The Amazing SpiderMan Renew Your Vows Volume 1 Brawl in the Family, which is a ridiculous name to try and say over and over and over again because I never get it right, but never mind. This is a story all about Peter after he's married MJ, and they have a child, Annie Mae. Now, the thing with this is that they're all superpowered in some way or other, which is really cool. So they're sort of like a crime-fighting spider family, and I recently read this and absolutely devoured it. Thought it was absolutely brilliant, and it was a 4-star read, which I will tell you about in my February wrap-up. But I love this one, and I'm now desperately on the look for the rest of the series. And then I also picked up The Defenders Volume 1, Diamonds Are Forever. Now, this one, again, I read it recently and absolutely loved it. This is obviously all about the Defenders as they team up to try and fight Diamondback. Now, I know about Diamondback because of the Netflix TV shows, rip the Netflix TV shows, and I've actually really enjoyed this. I will talk about it more in my wrap-up, but it was a really, really interesting storyline, and I just thoroughly enjoyed myself. And I can't wait to read the next one as well, if I can find it. Same with Spider-Man. If I can find it, I'll be overjoyed. If not, it's going to be a book depository and Amazon job to try and find the next one. And the final thing I got was unfortunately on Kindle because I couldn't find it anywhere, and that was The Umbrella Academy Volume 2 Dallas. Now, I haven't actually reread Volume 1 of The Umbrella Academy since I was about 16, but with the TV show coming out on the day that this is getting uploaded, I seriously could not ignore The Umbrella Academy. I had to get Volume 2, especially when it was on sale on Kindle, and I couldn't find it in any shop. I had to get it. I have asked for it in physical form for my birthday, so we can sort of put them both in my comic book box together in physical form, so they're all nice and matching. But at the moment, I'm just really happy to have it. I have no idea what the storyline is, apart from the fact that it's about the Umbrella Academy. I don't really care, because it's the Umbrella Academy, and the 3rd volume comes out in, like, September, I want to say. So I'm just excited for the Umbrella Academy here, especially with the TV show coming out on this Friday. I'm just really pumped for the Umbrella Academy. I'm in such a superhero mood that I'm just really overexcited for the Umbrella Academy here right now. So Bring it on. I'm so excited to read these. As soon as I finish The Gilded Wolves, I'm so excited. And that's the end of my book haul. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below with what you've recently bought and if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them. I'll also leave a link down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here and over here with a link to my previous video. But until next time, guys, bye.